Good evening again, everyone. Welcome to the July 13th, 2026 study session of the Livonia City Council. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by the Honorable Councilmember Eileen McDonald.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting sets the agenda for the 2045th regular meeting, which is a voting meeting that will take place on Monday, July 27th, 2026, where tonight's items will be officially voted on. We have all 7 members here from council. We will jump right into audience communication. We have 30 minutes set aside for any items that are not on the study agenda. Good evening, sir. Name and address, please. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening. Gerald Karasinski, 19488 Bainbridge. At the regular meeting, we talked about the audit, and at the audit meeting, some of the a fund balance in November was reported of $20.3 million. We also discussed about how each of the millages is targeted to certain expenditures. My question is, and I believe the answer is yes, is can we ensure that any unspent public safety millage is still restricted if it's spent in future years? Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, ma'am. Name and address for the record, please. You have 3 minutes.
Laura Janica on Munger Street in Livonia. Just a quick one. Earlier, we had somebody talking about the flock cameras. That was in 2025. I saw the footage from it. I noticed there wasn't any real back and forth dialogue. It was kind of like a love fest, which I think it needed a little deeper research on that, and I certainly think it should not have gone on the consent agenda. So that's in the past, but I certainly hope that we really look at what we put on consent a little more carefully. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other audience communication? All right, we will jump right into council comments. Anyone? Ms. Budzinski?
Oh, I just, one thing that I meant to bring up was that Livonia, we get a lot of questions or comments about grants. And so we have good grant news, which is that the Trinity Healthy Livonia grant was awarded to the Livonia Housing Commission to bring a social worker to help pay for a social worker to assist with residents at Mac Towers, Silver Village, and Newburgh Village. This was identified as a need because a lot of our seniors end up going to the hospital and then they're discharged and then they end up coming back in because they don't have the resources they need to maintain their health. So the social worker's job, and they'll be working at all 3 locations, is to help make sure that the seniors have the support services that they need, clear communication with the hospital, and just general follow-up. So I just thought I'd share that good news.
Thank you. Very cool. Any other council announcements? I just want to note that item number 3 is new data. We just updated the street names. They were wrong on the agenda. Okay, jumping right into external requests. Item number 1, block party. This comes from Stacy Rubenial to be held Saturday, August 1st, 2026 from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Shady Side Street between Gable and Aldane Streets with a rain date of Saturday, August 8th, 2026. Good evening, ma'am. Name and address, please.
Stacy Rubenial, 19320 Shady Side.
Thank you. You want to tell us a little bit about your party?
Yep, we're just going to have food and probably a bounce house for the kids and some yard games.
Okay. Thank you. Council?
Madam Chair,
Ms. Tashnik?
I'll be happy to offer an approving on consent. Sounds like a fun time.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any comments from council? Any comments from the audience? Okay, this will be on the consent agenda. Thank you. Item number 2 is another block party from Christina Zioli to be held Saturday, August 22nd, 2026 from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Summer Street between Riverside Drive and Ashurst Street. Is the petitioner here tonight?
Madam Chair,
Mr. McCullough?
let's put it on regular.
Okay. Council, any comments? Audience, any comments? Okay. Item number 2 will be on the regular agenda on July 27th, 2026. Item number 3, another block party from Aaron Dobbins and Jerome Pfeiffer to be held Saturday, August 29th, 2026 from noon to 10 p.m. in the SMB Estates in 2 locations, Ronnie Lane from Linden to Meadowbrook and Barber Street from Scone to Perth. You can come on up. Please state your name and address for the record.
Erin Dobbins, 14290 Barbara Street, Livonia. Jerry, come on up.
Jerry Pfeiffer, 14515 Ronnie Lane, President of the Civic Association.
Great. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your party?
If you're not familiar with our subdivision, there's some maps showing you the areas what we're thinking of having our block party.
Okay.
Having two joint areas because we're such a large area.
Thank you.
Madam President?
Mr. McCullough?
Just this one, I love these guys a lot. Not that I don't love everybody else, but Jerry has me over usually, was it once a year, to just answer questions on city items and stuff. And it's one of the best neighborhood associations. Nothing against anybody else, but you guys do such a great job. And I thought that I would embarrass you a little bit by giving you guys huge props and kudos on everything you do. I'm sure your neighbors love it. So keep it up, and I'd be happy to offer to approve it on consent if there's no objection from my colleagues.
Okay. Council, any comments? Comments from the audience? Great. Item number 3 will be on the consent agenda on July 27th, 2026.
And you're all invited to the party.
Oh, wow. Thank you. All right. Item number 4, this is another block party from Tracy Nolt to be held Saturday, August 29th, 2026 from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Marie Street and Court between Nolson Street and Minton Avenue. Good evening, ma'am. Name and address, please, for the record.
Tracy Nolte on Nolson Street in Livonia.
Do you want to tell us about your party?
We just gather as neighbors and we grill food and have music and just hang out and have fun.
Sounds fun. Council?
Madam Chair,
Ms. Persconi?
happy to offer an approving on consent.
Thank you. Council, any comments? Any comments from the audience? All right. Item number 4 will be on the consent agenda on July 27th, 2026.
Thank you.
Yep. Item number 5, block party from Michael Camilleri to be held Saturday, September 19th, 2026 from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. between 18528 and 18745 Park Lane Street with a rain date of Saturday, September 26th, 2026. Good evening. Name and address, please.
Michael Camilleri, 18528 Park Lane Street. And we're excited to try to get a block party going.
Great. Council?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Brockway?
Just because of the awesome Princess Donut and Mongo t-shirt, fantastic, by the way, I'll offer an approving on consent.
Okay. Council, any comments?
Yeah, just one thing.
Mr. McCullough?
I am so happy you guys are both here right now, and you guys are gonna. Is this how many years? Is this the first? Or no, you've done it many times.
We were thinking this is the 4th or the 5th time that we've had it in the last.
It's a dangerous street with you guys on there, right? With some of the neighbors that are around the area, but
we usually have lots of folks stop by from other streets.
We might want to add a couple more barricades just to ensure the party stays contained.
You guys are all welcome to stop by and say hello.
Thank you. All right, this will be on the consent agenda on July 27th, 2026.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, moving on to fire and rescue. Item number 6, a request for authorization to purchase Wayland emergency warning packages from Priority 1 Emergency. This comes from Livonia Fire and Rescue for emergency response warning equipment installed in department vehicles from budgeted funds. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening, President Reed. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Let me start off by saying congratulations on a very successful spree.
Thank you. Thank you.
Called nearly as much as we do. So
we weren't serving enough.
I'm going to put it
kidding.
on you. You did it. So good job.
Thank you.
The department put out for bid a request to put together packages for 4 incoming vehicles that need emergency warning systems. So this went out on Mitten. We received 4 qualifying bids. The lowest bid was from Priority 1 Emergency Response in Canton. So the department is requesting that the council accept that bid and authorize the purchase of the 4 emergency warning systems from budgeted funds.
Okay. Thank you. Council?
Madam Chair.
Ms. Tashnik?
So it appears that they like to put lights on the fire trucks, so we should probably do that. So I'd be happy to offer an approving on consent. Always good to see you, Chief.
Any other comments from council? Comments from the audience? All right, this will be on the consent agenda on July 27th, 2026. One more thing?
And if I could have one
Of course.
second or so just to announce this Thursday from 1 to 4 p.m. at Fire Station Number 3 on 7 Mile Road. We're holding a car seat check and installation party, if you will, for 3 hours. Multiple car seat technicians are going to be there from the fire department, police department, and other community partners. This is part of a bigger program where we hosted a school to create more child safety technicians. Some of them from our department, some from the police department, some from elsewhere, and this is going to be essentially their on-the-job training. So there is the opportunity to call, make an appointment, but drive-ins are welcome, and we'll be there until the cars are gone.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
All right, moving on to civil service. Item number 7, this is a request to authorize expenditure to sole source provider, Department of Civil Service, to approve the quote from NeoGov for talent acquisition from budgeted funds. Good evening.
Good evening, council. It's nice to be here and see you all again. NeoGov is our sole source provider. They take all of our job postings, they put it out there. They then post them to Indeed and government jobs. But the thing that makes them special and more useful for us is that they keep us fully compliant for the civil service process, which is the way that we make sure that we're doing fair and equitable hiring across the city. They kind of do a seamless process for our applicants where they can upload all of their documents, they can follow up on the progress, and see what's happening next in the civil service process for them. The hiring process takes a long time. It's not the regular process we think of on the outside. It's a blind process. Applicants are screened without us seeing their names or any identifying information in order to keep it fair and equitable.
Thank you. Council?
Madam Chair.
Ms. Tashnik?
First of all, would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
goodness,
sorry.
thank you. Hi, I'm sorry. I'm Janine Leibel on behalf of Civil Service. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming,
I
Director
didn't think you
Leibel.
would catch me on that one again.
So if we were to do this in-house, I imagine this would cost way more than $21,000 with the additional staffing, the materials, everything. It would be almost impossible.
It would be nearly impossible. I won't say impossible. It would be very difficult to keep it the blind process that it is right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And cost prohibitive, I would imagine.
Yes, I think we would need to design something to make sure we were managing that process correctly.
All right, and it is a sole source provider, that's why we're just going to go with
Yes,
that.
that's correct.
So yes, I'd be happy to offer an approving on consent if there are no objections.
Council?
Can we throw it on regular, please?
You okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. McDonald?
All righty, thank you. Mrs. Leibel, by any chance, I know we talked earlier today at the Retirement Board Committee. By any chance, were you able to look into Sourcewell to see if we could get a discount on this?
I did. Thank you, council member. I first want to thank you for being diligent in how we use our taxpayer dollars and making sure that we are efficiently spending and being responsible stewards of the funds that we get. So thank you for that. I did go upstairs and call. The Sourcewell offers a discount on attending on a registration for a conference that's associated with NeoGov, but NeoGov itself doesn't offer any promo codes or discount codes. We called and asked, and in fact, I've asked them before if they can keep their bill under $20,000. Hey, we can get you paid a little faster, but they're really one of the only games in town and across the country, I'd say, for providing this service to municipalities.
All righty, great.
Thank you. Thank you for the suggestion.
Oh, you're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Any other comments from council? Comments from the audience? All right, this will be on the regular agenda. Oh, sorry. Good evening, sir. Name and address, please. You have 2 minutes.
Jim Biggle, Livonia, Michigan. Just trying to understand how this process would streamline the hiring process. Working for the federal government, we've used electronic systems to hire, and has brought the list in quicker, and has brought the ability to interview people quicker, and we've been able to make offers quicker. I'm just wondering how this service makes the hiring system in Livonia more transparent and quicker for the employees to bring somebody on board. So if it's not making the system any faster to hire people, why we would want to do something? Just that's a question I have for you to ask Ms. Leibel. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other audience communication?
Madam
Mr.
President,
McCall?
I do have, just for the record, Sourcewell contract 030425-PDMS gives access to the following goods and services, and there's a monster list. This is directly from the Sourcewell. Maturity date is 7/17 of 2029. Just FYI.
Thanks. All right. Any other comments from the audience or council? Okay, this will be on the regular agenda for July 27th, 2026. Thank you. Moving on to Parks and Rec. Item number 8, this is award of bid for the Department of Parks and Rec. It's for the locker rooms regrouting project at the Jack E. Kirksey Recreation Center from budgeted funds. Good evening, ma'am. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, that's what I was trying to adjust so you could hear me. I'm Michelle Coppin, the Superintendent of Parks and Recreation. Thank you for having me tonight. We are here because we put out for bid the regrouting of our locker rooms, and we did publish this on May 27th on the Mitten website, and it closed on June 16th. We had one company at the pre-bid meeting, and that one company did submit the bid. We checked references even though they were the only company and would like to move forward with them.
Thank you. Council? Ms. Budzinski?
All right, I know our locker rooms do need some love, and so this is a good first step. I'd like to offer an approving on consent if there's no objection for my colleagues.
Council? Are there plans to do the family locker room?
That's a good question. I don't know if this is included in the family.
It just
I will
said
have to get
women's
back
and
with you
men's,
on
so I was
that.
just curious.
I will have to get back to confirm that. I know that one of our next larger projects we're looking at is the locker rooms. You know, after being open for 24 years, it's time to look at redoing them.
I agree. Any comments from the audience?
I have one.
Good evening, sir. Name and address, please. You have 2 minutes.
Gerald Karasinski, 19488 Bainbridge Avenue. I find the timing of this particular item very concerning because we did have the rec center closed down for quite a period of time for a number of other changes, and why this wasn't included in that package, because now this is going to be a disruption while the rec center's open for those patrons that use the locker room.
So this is actually planned to do during their annual closure when they do like their deep clean and their little projects.
I didn't
Yep.
see that in the. Thank you.
Yep. There's someone right behind you. Yep. Good evening, ma'am. Name and address, please. You have 2 minutes.
Denise Micah, Livonia, Michigan. I looked online at the bid or the statement of work that they have, and it does not include the family locker rooms. So if they want to include that, we should be more diligent with what goes in the contracts and what we're paying for, and that they want to add it. If they don't want to amend their bid, fine, but it should be clear what they're paying for and what's included. Because the stump removal, I cannot, that is just awful. That we still have the stumps at Golden Oaks and whoever signed off.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other audience communication? And I apologize, Ms. Budzinski, you said consent?
Yes, I did, and I'll just note that the contract in our packet does have the 5-day with the date of which rooms and what portion of the rooms would be done for each step, and then the price breakdown by square footage and price per square foot too. So and it is men and women's locker room only, but it is all available in the packet.
Thank you. Ms. Tashnik?
Thank you, Madam Chair. If Mrs. Budzinski is fine with this, I'd like to move this to the regular and then just give our superintendent a chance just to double check and make sure it's just the men's and women's. That's how I understood it as well when I read the contract, but
Yeah, because if it's just that, why aren't we doing the family?
Anyway.
Yeah. We'll
give you the opportunity to come back in 2 weeks and just
The main
clarify.
issues are the men's and women's.
For sure.
So that is the worst area.
Yeah. And that's how I understood it as well, but let's just double check if you're fine with that.
Regular's fine,
Okay.
totally fine.
Okay, great. That will be on the regular on July 27th, 2026. Item number 9 from the Office of the City Clerk. This is a request for consideration of a proposed ordinance amendment, and it's to amend Chapter 8.16, Restaurants of Title 8. Good evening, Madam Clerk.
Hello, Lori Miller, City Clerk. I'm here to request your assistance to amend a city ordinance. As you know, the clerk's office does business licensing. Only certain city businesses are required to obtain a city license, and they're prescribed in the city ordinances. Earlier this year, we were down a person in our office, and we were trying to improve some of the office procedures and how we process business licenses. And we realized that one particular license, which is for our restaurants, is the only one that has an actual expiration date, which is November 30th of every year. So all of them expire at the exact same time, which means all of the requests to renew come in at the same time, which means we process all of that, and then we forward it on in the workflow, which means it then goes to inspection, and then it goes to fire and inspection. And it creates a bottleneck for not only the clerk's office, but also is a hindrance for our business owners, because it's right before the holiday season. They have to start sending in checks and going through all these hoops. So we did a deep dive with our law department. We researched state laws, county laws, and none of the business licensing that we do for restaurants ties directly to any other state or county entity. So it makes no sense to have that hard deadline in the ordinance. So what we would like to do is just have it renew one year from the date of issuance, instead of all expiring on November 30th. So that's why we're requesting to change the ordinance.
Thank you. Council? Ms. Persconi?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think this is I'd like to offer an approving on consent for this one. I think we talk a lot about up here cutting the red tape, so to speak, and this is a great cut to the red tape. Most licenses that I'm aware of are all 1 year from the issuance date is when they expire, and it would totally prevent this backlog. So great job in looking into this and doing it. So,
Council? Ms. McDonald?
Thank you. By any chance, how are you going forward with our existing businesses alter the due dates?
We're going to do it on a rolling basis. So some of the invoices in the businesses that have processed in November, they're still pending their inspections. So once they're finally approved and issued their license, so technically they're not in compliance with our city ordinance, it would be from the year from the date that business license was issued. So it would create a rolling effect moving forward.
So you're basically going to change that. But,
right.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Any other comments from council? Comments from the audience? All right, this will be on the consent agenda on July 27th, 2026. Thank you. Okay, moving on to planning. This is item number 10, waiver petition 2026-05-02-13, submitted by Lux Events LLC, requesting waiver use approval to operate a banquet or an event facility with occupancy of over 50 people at 27600 Schoolcraft Road, located on the north side of Schoolcraft Road between Inkster Road and Cardwell Street in the northeast quarter of Section 24. Is our petitioner here tonight? You can come on down. Good evening. Name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Tiffany Munson, and the address is 27600 Schoolcraft Road.
Thank you. I don't know if either you or Mr. Tormina wanted to give a little.
I'll be happy to.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Tormina.
So this is a request for a banquet facility, sometimes referred to as an event center. This is at the Buckingham Village Shopping Center, which is on the north side of Schoolcraft, just west of Inkster Road. This is the former BBS distillery, for those of you who remember that business located at this shop center. The C2 zoning district allows banquet halls and event centers. It treats them as a waiver use if they are over 1,000 square feet and have a capacity of over 50 people. This particular space is about 2,800 square feet. It would accommodate 150 people. There's a plan provided. Shows the layout to include a dance floor, several tables. There's a photo booth, DJ table, bridal room, kitchen area, and 2 restrooms. So it's a linear storefront space. As you can see, it's about 80 or 100 feet in depth. No food or alcohol service would be provided or offered by the owner. Instead, food would be catered. Since the premises is unlicensed, alcohol consumption would be allowed. However, it's only if it is not open to the public. The attendees are guests, and there are no fees charged whatsoever. This storefront would be upgraded. This is what it looks like today. Little rough shot after the closure of the distillery. And this is the storefront after completion of the improvements. And you can see it includes new paint, new metal panels, some other features on the storefront. Since this is a multi-tenant shopping center, it does have 5 different parcels, but there are 3 different owners. The center primarily accommodates retail, where the peak hours of operation are during the daytime. There are some nighttime users. This is immediately adjacent to Snooker's Pool Hall, and the other event space located at this center is Champs Palace. It's a little further east in the center, but those are the only ones that would typically work in the evening. I'll note that Champs Palace is a business that came into operation prior to our current ordinance language, which treats this as an event center, so it's not something that was reviewed by the council. There is a 300-foot separation requirement from residential properties. There is a neighborhood immediately to the south, so that is something the council would have to waive, is that 300-foot separation. Shared dumpster at the rear of the property. Planning Commission is recommending approval. There are a number of limitations. One is on the hours of operation. I think midnight is the closing time on all nights. The resolution also includes improvements to the rear alley. It's referred to as an alley, but is not public. It is privately owned. So there are improvements that are needed to that back space. And then lastly, the approval would be limited to this owner only. So it cannot be transferred to a new owner unless approved by the City Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Council? Ms. Budzinski?
Could we hear from the petitioner about what your vision is for this space, why you selected it, and a question that I will have that you could include is, will you have a licensed bartender as a requirement in your contracts for events, and then additionally timing for when the events themselves would be scheduled? I know it says midnight, but is that for them to end, or that when you would close the doors for they'd be cleaned up, and things like that? Those are general questions we ask on these types of developments.
Okay. Thank you. So
that can adjust up, so you don't have to. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, a little taller. Okay. So, it's always been my dream to own my own brick and mortar event center, because I've always been into the party planning and that sort of thing, and just really wanting to hone in on bringing a bride's vision to life for her special day for micro weddings, along with, of course, other events as well. Now, outside of that, we will allow certified mixologists, and we're actually partnering with a well-known ABC bartending school that has almost 30 years of experience in Southfield Lathrop, and that will be the way that we vet the mixologists. Also, too, we'll have the caterers, we'll vet all the vendors. They'll all have to have their own insurance and, be vetted well before the event. My vision is just a luxury event center that really can bring the vision to life and just make it a family-friendly event center where anybody can come, go. As far as our hours of operations for our events, so during the week, we plan on our events being from, really the pocket would be from a maximum of 6 to midnight. And we'll also have daytime events as well offered to for corporate events and that sort of thing, or repast during the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. And then on the weekend, we may have some double events on a Saturday, or we may have an all-day event. So if it's a wedding, we, anticipate a wedding being a earlier reception, and the bridal party may have the event from 9 a.m. up until midnight. Midnight would be the end time of the event, time to clean up, and the guests should already be out of the door. We'll also have event attendees as well. So the way that we kind of do it is based on, one event attendee per 25 guests or so. And that gives us enough staff for even flow if the guests need anything. They'll also be specially trained, and be able to take special safety precautions, not limited to, even security for evening events.
Thank you.
Council?
Madam Chair.
Ms. Tashnik?
Thank you. So I just have a couple quick questions too, and security was going to be one of them, so I know you kind of were touching on that. Parking, I know there seems, I mean, you have enough to comply, but is that going to be an issue at all if you're having a large event?
No, I don't see it being an issue. I know that we are based on like the size and everything. I know we said up to 150, but really our vision is around 125 maximum. But we still anticipate most of our events being with, between 60 to 80 guests. Okay. So with that being said, in the size of the parking lot, I don't see the parking being a problem at all. I know at the 125, they say that we require, I believe, like 44 parking spaces, but I don't even see us needing that, even though the parking lot is, I think, over 200 parking spaces, and we do have the cross easement agreement already in place.
Yeah, I just want to address that. And then the last thing, we do have noise ordinances in Livonia, and so if this is going to midnight, you're past that time. Like if you have an event that's going that late. So I guess how are we going to address any noise? I mean, there is residential, not very far. So how are we going to address any noise issues?
Okay, well, with the residential being behind the building, but a little bit closer than 300 feet, no one will be allowed in our back, like through the back doors. So everything will be kept inside. And then there'll also be a buffer there as well, because we also have a storage in the rear. So no one will be even close to the guests in order for us to, disturb them.
Okay. But the noise, I guess, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't want anyone milling about behind either.
Right.
But I guess if there's music going and dance music and people, after a party, people are hyped up and laughing and that's, I guess, that would be a concern, would be the noise ordinance issues.
Okay.
Being affected.
Okay.
So just something to think about.
Okay.
But it sounds like a very exciting business, and thank you for choosing Livonia.
Thank you.
Council, any other comments or questions? Mr. McCullough?
Yes, just through the chair to the petitioner, are you currently operating a facility anywhere, or is this kind of a new venture?
So having my actual brick and mortar is a new venture, but it's more like an expansion of my already decorating business.
Gotcha.
So I had already been decorating plenty of parties and, actually even having teaching classes held at the office building that we're out of right now. But this is a brand new dream of mine to have the actual event space.
For sure. What's the current? Is the current business the same? Is it Lux Events?
No. So we were just operating really by mostly word of mouth before, and now I have completely formed everything as a real business. And not to mention the fact that I also just want to add in there, I do have over 10 years of management experience previous to any of this. Not to mention I did spend over $10,000 for a one-on-one coach as well, just so I can make sure I knew all the ins and outs and invest in the business before even getting to this point.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from council?
I
Ms.
have.
Persconi?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to clarify, this looks beautiful. It's definitely a great improvement to the area, so that's appreciated in the concept. We've been seeing a few more of these types of facilities come to Livonia, which is great. It's a thing that's out there right now, is what I'm seeing, and that's wonderful. Historically, our cutoff time, if I remember correctly, is been 11 p.m. on weekdays, and then that gives that hour to clean up, to exit.
Okay.
And I would have to pull the last few that we've done, but I think consistency is really important, and it's fair for the other business owners, so you don't have an unfair advantage and can offer a later time period when we're the ones that suggested a closing a little bit earlier.
Right.
So if that is something, would you be amenable to staying in line with the previous hours that we've done?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think that, if I remember correctly, I think it was the weekdays, and it was 11 p.m. I think the weekends, we allowed an extended period of time on Friday and Saturday evening, but any other Sunday through Thursday was 11 p.m.
Okay.
So the event shuts down at 11,
Yes.
and then they get the extra hour to clean up and get out. So you're not disturbing, and especially with residents being close by. And that was actually a segue to my second question. Have you spoken to any of the neighbors, or do they know about the proposed, business in the area coming, or done anything to outreach with the neighbors?
With the neighbors, no.
Okay.
No.
Just from previous entities like this coming up, it was always, I think it was helpful just to kind of reach out and introduce yourself, because as a new business, you start off on the right foot. That's
Okay.
just kind of like what we've seen been really beneficial for business owners, because
Okay.
we would love to have you succeed.
Thank you.
And so that's really, just a little heads up there.
Okay.
What the others have been doing too.
Okay, and can I piggyback a little bit on the previous question?
Yeah.
So as far as, okay, so I may have had a little bit of confusion here. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, as far as the guests go, they're out of the door at midnight. But that's like the contract holders. So I do want to clarify, they would have to end their event itself as far as like their actual party at 11 p.m.
That's perfect.
But they would have to, they would, basically they paid up until midnight is what I'm saying. So I didn't want you to think that no one would be inside of the center at midnight.
Yep. No,
But
that's
the
we're on
party
same
itself would be
page.
over, yes.
Yes, that's exactly what we wanted to give the vendors. The term, I think, is the word you use. Your
Right.
contract vendors.
Yes.
That's exactly what we would be asking for.
Okay.
Because that's what we've permitted the other users to do.
Okay. Thank you.
for clarifying that.
Thank you. Ms. Budzinski?
Oh, I think Ms. McDonald.
Ms. McDonald?
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I just need a little clarification.
Okay.
What offerings are you offering for your services? And sometimes I'm hard of hearing, so I have
Okay.
a little difficult time hearing things.
Okay.
So if you go over that, you said that for corporate businesses and weddings and what other items again?
Okay, so we'll offer corporate events, we'll offer micro weddings, we'll also do bridal showers, baby showers, repast, and bachelorette parties as well. And so this is what these are the type of events we will host, but at the same time, we're really like one-stop shop. So we offer the luxury venue. We also offer the luxury venue with short-term and long-term payment options as well, so that they can afford their luxury events. We also do decor as well, and then we offer packages that include like a photographer for a few hours for their event, a DJ included for their event as well for 5 hours. So we have mainly 3 main packages that we offer our guests that are all inclusive. And even if they want to only rent the venue itself, and let's say they don't want us to decorate, they don't want our DJ or anything like that, at that point they can rent the venue and do the rest themselves. But we will also still have an event attendee there as well to monitor things.
Okay. And in looking at the planning commission meeting, there was a question in reference to the bathrooms. Can you explain that?
Yes. So currently, so we have the space under the lease right now. So currently there were 2 single stall ADA approved restrooms already present in the building. So they're kind of like in the middle along like the left side wall. And so they were asking, based on the 125 guests, do we feel as though that is suffice for the amount of guests that we can have? And for a few different reasons, we told them that we do believe that it is suffice, but if, that is like, it meets the requirements, but they were asking, do I believe that it suffice? So I was telling them that over the last 10 years, the events that I've actually attended, I've never really seen a long line at any of the event venues. And not to mention the fact that, I don't know about you, but I try not to use the restroom all the time while I'm out. I'm kind of in and out, you know, and I just was letting them know that we would go with the requirement as of right now and leave the restrooms alone because they were already existing. And then depending on how like our operations go, although I haven't seen it in the past, if I do see where we could use more restrooms, then that'll be something that we'll look at later in order to add additional restrooms.
Okay, so to clarify, you have 2 toilets to accommodate 125 people?
Up to, yes.
Okay.
But 2 single stall ADA approved.
Right. No, I understand that. It just, to me, that doesn't seem like enough to accommodate a large number of people.
It meets code.
Pardon?
It meets code.
I'm sorry?
We checked, it will meet code.
It meets code? Okay. All right, well, that's good to know. All right, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Not yet.
Okay.
Madam
Ms.
Chair?
Tashnik?
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Taramina, I'm going to, and I don't expect you to know this off the cuff, but I know we've approved back in January the Detroit Light Action, I think it was the name of it, and then we recently did the Maison Rose. Can we make sure we're being consistent on these hours? Because I feel like it was 10 PM on the one in January, and I feel like now that we're talking about I want to make sure we're being consistent here
We'll
across the
check
board.
and
I
provide
appreciate that, thank you.
Ms. Budzinski?
I'd just like to make a motion for approval on regular, just so that we could get that clarified information. If you want to take that time to reach out to the neighbors, I mean, it's a great way to promote your business as well. You know,
It is.
give them a flyer, let them know that you're coming, and
Okay.
how to contact you, so that once you open, if they do have a concern, they can hopefully, you know, let you know,
Yes.
give you an opportunity to address it, so you're not having to come and deal with us again.
Okay.
Other folks in the same
Thank you
stuff.
so much. I love that suggestion.
Thank you.
Great. Any other comments from council? Comments from the audience? Name and address, please. You have 2 minutes.
Sorry, Denise Micah, Livonia. I do have a question that if the next, and you can cover it later, but if they don't take a package from the vendor and they can still rent the place, what happens with the alcohol that's brought in, and what happens with the insurance when they're not using the owner's expertise and licensing things? So I think that kind of was missed, and
Okay.
that I'd be worried about. Then people just bringing bottles in, and I don't know if that's against the rules of the liquor laws or whatever. So thank you. That's
So
all.
please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I read in your information that you're only going to allow certified mixologists.
Yes.
And then you did mention earlier that you're requiring insurance on your vendors.
Yes.
Yep. So that will be covered.
All, even if they're not a part of our package, yes.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Any other comments from the audience? Okay, so this will be on the regular agenda on July 27th, 2026, and I recommend you come back in case we have any more questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item number 11, this is a waiver petition 2026-05-02-14 submitted by Oval Auto requesting waiver use approval to operate an automobile repair facility at 28755 Plymouth Road, located on the south side of Plymouth Road between Garden Street and Harrison Street in the northeast quarter of Section 36. Good evening. Name and address, please.
Good evening. Jeff and Vanessa Shembri, 28755 Plymouth Road.
Thank you. Do you or Mr. Termina want to go over this?
I'll provide some background. So this is the former Dobby's Tuxedo Shop on Plymouth Road that the Chambres have acquired and are proposing to renovate to an automobile repair facility. They do currently own and operate Oval Repair or Oval Auto Repair on the adjacent property to the east. So this would be either a relocation or expansion of that business to this new site. This property is zoned commercial, so it treats auto repair as a waiver use. The property is roughly 300 feet deep. It does border residential to the south. To the east, west, and north are all commercial and industrial land uses. The building is currently about 4,500 square feet. They propose to expand the building by building an addition about 60 feet in depth, so same width of 50 feet, but a 60-foot addition to the rear, expanding the business or the building to about 7,500 square feet. And what this would allow is about 7 repair bays, a couple more than what they currently operate with on the adjacent property. The site driveway and configuration, all of that pretty much remains the same. There's 28 total parking spaces. 23 of them are along the west side of the property, extending from the front all the way to the rear. And then there's another, I think, 5 spaces located on the east side behind the dumpster area. There is a masonry wall that runs along the south side of the property. They do propose to add a chain link fence along the west side of the property. That's something that's going to have to be approved by the Zoning Board of Appeals. That would match an existing fence on the opposite side. There are a number of improvements proposed to the exterior of the building. This doesn't quite show it. I do have a rendering, and this just depicts what they're looking at as far as the front of the building with new brick and limestone and other features, new windows along the building. There would be a new overhead door on the west side to allow access into the building for service. Planning Commission did recommend approval. There are a number of stipulations, including repairs to the parking lot, limiting the height of the exterior lighting, and submission of a photometric plan showing compliance with our standards, our lighting standards. And then there's an existing non-conforming pylon sign that would be removed as well. One last item, an important consideration of this request is there was a restriction that was placed on the original oval repair under Council Resolution 20702. So Jeff and Vanessa have been in operation now for almost 25 years at the adjacent property, but the approval back in 2002 limited that waiver to the Chambres. So they cannot sell that business to another auto repair operator without first coming back to council. Now, they could operate both businesses together as Oval Auto Repair, but we would recommend that you include a similar provision with any resolution approving this request.
Thank you. Do you want to add on anything, or?
Pretty much went through everything with the council. They were pretty cool with us. It's pretty much just like Mr. Tormina said.
I'm just looking for more space.
Ask for your blessing so we can continue, so I can retire and let my kid run
it. Okay, council. Ms. Budzinski, then Mr. McCullough.
Well, so it's very exciting because, as we all know, Jobbies is a hot topic here on Plymouth Road, and for you guys to step in and address this building is really exciting. And so we have the stipulations that were discussed, and I was just curious, what do you think you're going to end up doing with your current location? Do you have a plan yet, or not?
Depends on how good my kid does. If it booms and keeps booming, then obviously we'll keep everything and just keep both of them.
Okay. I'm happy to offer an approving on consent, but I'll defer to my colleagues if they have questions or want regular.
Mr. McCullough?
No, I just wanted to add a provision that you guys have to wear cummerbunds from the Dobby's store.
I got you.
I know.
I got you a poster.
Oh my gosh.
I got you a bunch of cool stuff.
This is so I used to live pretty much right behind Dobby's, and we used to throw snowballs at his sign, and he would chase us down the road.
Yeah, he was a loony.
Yes, that's why I'm figuring you might find him in there somewhere. But
Oh my
listen,
God.
if anybody has seen this building, I mean, these guys coming through is a huge amenity.
Try
so
cleaning it out.
I can only imagine.
And seriously, their family went through a really bad time.
Yeah.
God, just like it was horrible. I went to the funeral and I put one of his little business cards in his, his
Great.
coffin. Nobody else was kind of disappointing. But
That is
anyways,
sad. No,
rest in peace, Dobby.
I mean, you guys work pretty much next door to him.
Yeah.
We might have been tossed a snowball at your sign one time.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Sorry.
Didn't notice.
But no, thank you. Honestly, you're improving that whole section. So
Excited.
It needs it. It's really bad.
All right, thank you. Any comments from the audience? All right, this will be on the consent agenda on July 26th or 27th, 2026. And I just want to put it out there. Good luck to your son. Sounds like you got a lot of pressure going for him.
Doing all right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a good night. All right, moving on to Housing Commission. Item number 12, this is a request to execute the 2027 agreement between the City of Livonia and SMART, Livonia Housing Commission, to allow the Live and Go Transit Program to receive the municipal and community credits in the amount of $89,424. Good evening. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Good evening, Council. My name is Madison Biertness. I'm the Executive Director of the Housing Commission. So here for my first item, I am looking for a request to execute the 2027 agreement between the City of Livonia and SMART in the amount of $89,424. And this just supports operations for Live and Go.
Thank you. Council?
Madam Chair?
Ms. Stashnik?
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So actually, a resident reached out to me on this one. Is this credit dependent on the smart millage passing in August? Or
Yes.
do we get it?
Yes.
Anyway.
That's my understanding from the meetings that we've had with SMART, yes.
So if it doesn't pass, we don't get this 89,000?
Correct.
Okay. Assuming it does pass, would Live and Go receive a larger credit then, going forward, or we don't know that?
I can't answer that right now. We would like to see Live and Go receive more money, but I'm not sure how much they would be looking at giving us.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, Council? Any other? Ms. Budzinski?
Did you make a motion?
I did not.
Okay, I'll make a motion. And approving on consent, and I feel like this might come up again since it's kind of contingent on factors outside of our control.
Correct.
Thank you. Any other comments from council? Any comments from the audience? Okay, item number 12 will be on the consent agenda on July 27th, 2026. Item number 13, this is a request for approval of the 2026 through 2030 consolidated plan. The 2026-2027 Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG Annual Plan and Budget, and request to approve hold harmless contracts between the City of Livonia and First Step, Fair Housing Center of Metropolitan Detroit, Wayne Metropolitan Community Action Agency, Cruise Clinic, Stonebrook Counseling Associates, PLCC, and CARES in Farmington Hills. And this is in connection with the operation of a domestic violence victim assistance program for the purpose of providing fair housing and for the mental health counseling program provided through the Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, programs for the 2026-2027 program year. Hi.
Yes. So this is for our Community Development Block Grant Program. This is an approval of both our 5-year plan and our annual plan for our Community Development Block Grant Program. You have both attached in your packets with the details. Our 5-year plan just kind of gives a general overview of what we are looking at in terms of 5 years. It doesn't give us the details yet, but our annual plan has the budget. So we are looking at receiving $359,489 in entitlement money from HUD for the Community Development Block Grant Program this year. And we're estimating $650,000 in program income. So that's money that we receive back from things like the sales of houses that we purchase, or rental income from the properties that we own, or return of loans that we've given people in the past that they then pay off. So I'll just give a couple highlights of big things we're looking to do this year. So we have $150,000 budgeted for improvements at Hillcrest Park. And then we have $450,000 budgeted for the accessible bathrooms for the Civic Center Library. And then we'll be continuing our long-term public service programs, so our mental health counseling, First Step, which is domestic violence support, our emergency assistance program, which is utility assistance, food assistance through CARES in Farmington, and then some senior transportation, which is a bus that we provide to the senior center for transportation for senior center events. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Council? Ms. Budzinski?
You know, I'm jumping out of my seat over Hillcrest Park. I get a lot of families, including a mom who messaged me yesterday or a couple days ago and asked if this was still on the plan. And I said, let me follow up. So I'm super excited to hear that it is still in the plan, along with all the other great work that you'd mentioned. So I'd like to offer an approving on consent if there's no objection from my colleagues.
Thank you. Council? Ms. McDowell?
Thank you. By any chance, do you know what the status is with the CBDG monies for the Bennett Library ADA bathroom?
So you're approving the money to be allocated to that project in this item. This is the approval of the budget for the money to go to that item.
Okay. But I thought it already went out to bid. Am I wrong about that?
It did go out to bid simultaneously, assuming that we have the money for this.
Okay.
just to kind of make things move faster, right? Put out to bid. So we have the bid in place in order to move forward.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. Anything else from council? Anything from the audience? Ms. Budzinski, did you say consent?
I did.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item number 13 will be on the consent agenda on July 27th, 2026. Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 14. This comes from the Department of Law. Request to approve cable franchise agreement between the City of Livonia and Comcast for a period of 10 years from the date issued. Did you want to speak on it at all, Ms. Rogers? Or hi, you. Good evening.
Sure.
Name and address, please.
No, you go first.
No, it's yours.
Okay.
Name and address, please.
Sure. Jada Weatherspoon, Ann Arbor. Good evening, Council. Thank you so much for having me today. Appreciate you for taking this up. So before you is the Uniform Video Service Local Franchise Agreement, which is renewed every 10 years. And so that's just establishes our service to be able to provide in the City of Livonia, obviously. And so it also establishes the franchise fee amounts, which I believe the Councilwoman referenced earlier, as well as the public education government channel, which you all have. And so there's a separate PEG fee, which is what we call it, for that specific channel. And so please let me know. You all have my card. Let me know if you have any questions about it, but just looking to renew that and appreciate the time.
Thank you. Council? Did you want to add anything, Ms. Rogers?
No, I think it was very complete. It's really honestly done out of form every 10 years.
Thanks. Council?
Madam Chair?
Ms. Persconi?
I am happy to offer an approving on consent. This seems like a pretty standard procedure that needs to be done in order to provide these services to the residents, so.
Thank you. Anything else from council? Anything from the audience? All right, item number 14 will be on the consent agenda on July 27th, 2026.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. All right, we will move on to audience communication for anyone that did not speak at the beginning of the study meeting. Any?
Go ahead, Frank.
Please state your name and address, and you will have 3 minutes.
Denise Micah, Livonia. I'm disappointed in the meeting tonight for several reasons. And one of them is when we're tracking things that the law department should have and the clerk should have. I would hope when a task comes in, like most businesses, you would have a spreadsheet and you'd have a suspense date, or you would track it somehow. And if there's nothing in place in the city of Livonia, wow, how are you running this place? So also on item 7, when we went through with the NeoGov.
I'm sorry, it's for items not on the agenda.
Okay, so I can say it a different way, that when somebody is speaking on an item and somebody else comes up and has a question and that person can answer it and it was totally ignored, and this is not the first time, it happens almost every meeting, that you could get an answer. And that's why it's hard to trust people when you ignore people, when you can get an answer immediately right here. And if they can't get it, we'll get back to you. There's no give and take. There's no respect for the people, so it's hard to respect some of the people in these positions here when you discount what people's questions are. And we spend a lot of time. You get paid for your job. We don't get paid. And a lot of people come up to us and ask us, could you please bring these things up? Because they're afraid to come up for retribution for everything. And that's pretty sad when we have free speech in Livonia, right? So I just hope next time people think about it, that you could ask somebody, could you please answer that, or have somebody get back to them? Because I'm tired of coming up here and saying, I brought this up how long ago? Nobody's given an answer. It's just like really common courtesy of the people that have voted for everybody on this board. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. Name and address, please. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Elijah. I am a Livonia resident. I just wanted to introduce myself. This is my first time at Livonia City Council. I've had the opportunity to speak to a couple of you now. And yeah, I'm just excited to get more engaged and do my civic duty in my local city. An issue I am passionate about, and this somewhat comes from my background, I'm a computer and electrical engineer by trade, is flock and AI surveillance. It's something I have been studying for some time. I think these systems are very dangerous and unsecure. I will say that I do think it warrants further discussion. I learned that it was passed in consent. If anyone has any questions, I, of course, will make myself available. I also will be reaching out with some information I and my team have put together. I saw in the agenda one thing is to introduce who we work with or what organization I represent. I'm a member of the Metro Detroit DSA chapter. We have an organizing group outside here in Western Wayne, and we advocate just for civil liberties and just improving the lives of local residents in our local communities. So I think Flock and their competitors, I don't want to just ignore the other companies, Flock and their competitors pose a very significant harm, and if I would have the opportunity to be able to demonstrate that, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, ma'am. Name and address, please. You have 3 minutes.
Hi. Thank you. Lynn Mills, Plymouth Road, Livonia. I forgot to mention something earlier, and this is in regards to, again, the trees at Golden Oaks. On July 2nd, I happened to turn in there. There was a line. There's traffic there. There's always traffic there, although they are getting much better at the flow. This notice was up on the mailboxes, and it says, "Please be advised that starting the week of June 22nd, 2026, there will be an environmental site testing at the site of Golden Oaks. This is the next step towards completing the Golden Oaks development." Are you telling me that they cut down all those trees without an environmental study done before? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. And somebody just brought up retribution. A citizen of Livonia spoke earlier today, and there's already retribution going out on Facebook, and I think it's despicable. We all have free speech, and it takes a lot of courage to come up to this podium and speak, no matter how old you are, no matter how well-versed you are. And for somebody to mock and make fun of another citizen, I think is despicable. And, you know, I can be your next target. I don't care. I'm old, I'm seasoned, and send your arrows at me. Leave people alone. Free speech is free speech, people. And if you want to be involved in public speaking, this young man who just came up here, first time, I applaud him for getting up here and speaking. And to have members of this community come up here and mock another citizen for simply coming up here and speaking is outrageous and despicable. And people, come up here, talk, and don't be afraid, and don't let nasty, gnarly people keep you from speaking. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. Name and address, please. You have 3 minutes.
This is a continuation from the council meeting. I'll have a brief review and try to finish in 3 minutes this time. I was discussing Steve King being charged with breaking and entering and trespassing at the Senior Wellness Center and the Recreation Center. The 16th District Court Judge Jim Jolly dismissed the breaking and entering charge, and Mr. King pleaded no contest to the trespassing charge. Judge Jolly fined Mr. King $50. Think crime, trespassing, think punishment, $50 fine. City of Livonia Recreation Commission, Ted Davis was the department head then, think crime, breaking and entering, and trespassing, think punishment. Banned from the Senior Wellness Center and the Recreation Department for life. Think banned for life versus $50 fine. Why such a harsh punishment from the Recreation Commission? I can only speculate. There's no secret there was bad blood between Mr. Davis and Mr. King. Also, Mr. King was one of the leaders of the Vote No group that helped defeat the $145 million bond last August, called Vision 21. I called it the great new artificial downtown. 67% of the people voted against it. It lost by a 2-to-1 margin. In politics, losing by a 2-to-1 margin is a serious beatdown. So the punishment appears to be petty political vindictiveness on steroids. So per District Court Judge Jolly, the fine is $50. For the Recreation Commission, the penalty is banned for life. The City Council needs to fix this. Please end the ban for Mr. King at the Senior Wellness Center and the Recreation Center. I believe there is at least one of the Mayor Brosnan council members who believe in justice and doing the right thing. Also, and most importantly, has the courage to stand up to Mayor Brosnan. Thank you for your time.
Any other audience communication? Any closing remarks from council? All right, this meeting is adjourned. See you later.